everyone. Happy November. Let's see. It is a perfect day to be a speaker sister. Ain't that the truth? Hello from Kansas, suburban Chicago, sunny Florida. Quite jealous. It's pretty chilly here in Raleigh this morning. Welcome everyone to November's live Speaker Sister Q&A. If this is your first time at one of our live Q&As, let me know. I know we have a lot of lovely ladies joining us from our October boot camp. So if that is you, then let me know in the chat. And for our speaker sisters who are here, who have been here for a while, let's give a warm welcome to our new friends. All right, we got Athens, Georgia. First time from Denver. Love it. Okay, so this is a chance for you all to ask any questions. Feel free to put them in the chat. Tell me your wins, how things are going. We have a lot of people from October Boot Camp. I love it. So yeah, put any questions that you might have for me in the chat. I do have an exciting announcement that I will drop in about 15 minutes. Let's say it is I feel like I'm the host of The Bachelor, where they're like, it's the most dramatic season ever. But I do have a very exciting announcement that I've been working on that I can't wait to share with you all at 10:15. So in a few minutes. Okay, so welcome to all our speaker sisters. Yeah, what could it be? We will see. Let's see. Tech Savvy 101. I love this. Also, let me scoot up a little bit. How do you handle sickness if you're scheduled to speak? I currently have wicked laryngitis. That is honestly the worst, and I'm so sorry you're experiencing this. A couple things. I have a couple things that you can do to try to prevent it. When I know that I have a big speaking gig coming up a few weeks before, and I know for you this is too late, but just for everyone else, I start taking what is it called? It's like Immunity 7, or it's this like vitamin that is something 7 in it. I'll find it and I'll post it in the group just to start kind of boosting my immunity. But if it is in the moment and I am sick, throat coat tea, 100%, gargling salt water before you speak, and literally taking like a shooter of a honey packet before you speak, and then have on stage with you almost like a thermos of warm water. And this is weird, but one thing that I do is if I know I have a slight cough, I will opt not for the like Britney Spears mic or even a lapel, but a handheld, because I had a nightmare scenario one time where I had like a Britney Spears mic and I had this cough, and I couldn't get away from the mic. Whereas when you have a handheld, you can just kind of and then come back. But I'm so sorry, and I hope that you feel better. But those are a couple tips for you. Okay. What programs do people use for contracts signed and receiving payments for speaking gigs? We love Honeybook. There should be some information about that in the course, but Honeybook is a great way to get contracts signed, things paid, things like that. Navigating this path. How do you, I'm guessing the question is, how do you get hired to speak? I would go to the part in the course that we have 4 ways to get started with getting hired to speak. But if you're just looking for the low-hanging fruit, is obviously changing your bios to say speaker, start creating content around what you speak on, and then just go what we call to closest to cash. Look who's in your network. Who do you know that maybe works at a corporation that has an employee resource group? And you can even be honest with them, Jennifer, and say, hey, I'm just getting started in speaking and I'm really wanting to help audiences get into XYZ topic or help them achieve this outcome. I was wondering, if I could come speak to your employee resource group. That would really help me get started. Even just being honest about that, even with some friends and family, maybe your chamber of commerce. I literally just got off a call right before this with the Raleigh professional women's luncheon that does like a lunch every month for working women. And there are so many just little things locally in your community that you can use to get started. Oh, this is actually a good point. This goes back to the woman in here saying that she's sick. Have a backup speaker sister. I had to do that before, where I thought I was going to be able to do a gig like 3 weeks after giving birth. I could not do it. And so I had a backup, and so that way I'm not going to the gig, a couple weeks before and saying, I can't do it. I'm saying, hey, I can't do it, but here is someone else who you'll be in great hands with. And they loved it. But if your flight gets delayed, something like that, when I'm even going to a city to speak, I'm like, okay, I'm speaking in Dallas. If my flight gets delayed or if it gets canceled or something like that, who do I know in Dallas? And I'm even just thinking about that, which is why this community is so great. Lori, how do you remember what you'll say or if you get a brain freeze? Oh my gosh, this happens honestly to me all the time, which is why I suggest your bump set spikes and then memorizing your talk as if it's a set list instead of word for word. Because and some people have different memorization techniques, but I think memorizing your talk like a set list, like, okay, lesson 1, I'm talking about Halloween. Lesson 2, I'm talking about strawberry picking with my kids. And then you can remember the bump set spike for each lesson. But one tip I will also give you, Lori, is have a story and a lesson in your back pocket that you don't use in your talk. And this is a great time filler. Let's say that you are speaking and you're almost to the end of your presentation and you see, oh my gosh, I have 15 minutes left on the timer. I need to fill time. Or let's say you get up there and all of a sudden the projector isn't working. AV is trying to figure it out and you have to fill time. Use that story. If you have a brain fart and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to find my way back, use that story. And so I have this like camping story with my dad, that I don't have in my talk, but it's in my back pocket if I need a time filler. So it's always good to have like a secret time filler story for that reason. Let's see. I love this, Kate. That is a great topic. Garlic with honey. That's great. Okay, people putting in the teas, the vitamins, love it. Let's see, throat coat. One of my stories is about leaving an abusive relationship. Is this too alarming for a keynote? My talk is about resilience and overcoming past trauma. What I always say, the story can be personal as long as the takeaway is professional. And I have a story that I use in my keynote that is dramatic, and I don't want it to take out all the energy in the room. So what I would do in your situation is you can still include it. I would put it in maybe the second or the third lesson, so it's not the first or the last, and then have it be a really strong takeaway for someone who is navigating a challenge or realizing that they have to pivot, because the story can be personal as long as the takeaway is professional. And the other thing I would say to that is making sure in our talk titles and things like that, that the use of the word trauma can sometimes turn away corporate event planners. And so if that's someone that you're trying to appeal to, I would swap that word with challenges, adversity, something that's a little bit more professional. Okay, let's see. 5 more minutes till our announcement, everyone. Okay, when you contract for a talk, is it typical to get paid fully before the talk or before some and some after? I like to do 50% upon signing the keynote, 50% at the keynote. Events are different. Sometimes the bigger the company, the longer it takes to get paid. I'm speaking at Chick-fil-A again next week, which I'm very excited. And they are like, yeah, it's going to take us like 90 days to pay you. And so, but that's the ask is 50% upon signing, 50% day of speaking. Let's see. Should we offer a freebie on our site before we have any paid products or keynote? Queen, I think that's an amazing idea. Also, I love this photo of you. Offering a freebie on your site to just start gathering people's information. Hey, put in your email and get my like 5-day reset. Put in your email and download this video series I made about blank and have it be about your keynote topic. Having a freebie with an email is always a great move. Still refining my keynote. Can I still apply or do I need to wait till that's finalized? I say apply. As long as you have your transformation promise, so like the message isn't changing, the keynote can change. Because when you're applying for events, you're applying using the value of the keynote, but you're not listing and like writing out the entire keynote. So the event just has to buy and agree to the value, and then you can create it later. So typically, you're going to have at least 6 months between when they book you to when you have to deliver it. But there is nothing like that fire under your belt to start building it, like a date on your calendar. So I would say go ahead and do it. Yes, Johnny, I think if you're using a payment platform like Stripe for your other business, you can use that to collect deposits, but I'm not completely sure about that. My co-host just asked to do a webinar on caregiving. Oh, just asked me to do a webinar on caregiving for her corporation, 60 minutes on December 9th. Lisa, that's awesome. See, this is an example of closest to cash, just people that are in your network that have opportunities for you. Employee resource groups are groups that a company has with more personal topics. So they might have a women's employee resource group. They might have a Latina employee resource group. They might have a parent employee resource group. And it's ways for employees to get together under the tense of how they identify. How do you truly expand your network? Mine is non-existent. Well, one, Melissa, being here, having like getting virtual coffees or something with other women in the Speaker Sister group is great. And then I would look at local like events in your area and just even look up, women's networking in blank city. Also, if you're near one of our Mic Drop Club cities or locations or virtual, that is also a great way to start building your community. Gigi, I cannot decide between 2 topics for my keynote. I'm going to change the size of these for next time. I'm like, hello. I'm passionate about both, but not an expert. How do you decide? What I would say is I would spend 1 week trying on each topic. So this week, be topic 1, next week, be topic 2. Create content around that, talk to people about it, even send out pitches around it and see where you get the most traction. Just be a scientist and start experimenting. Is speaking on authenticity or emotional intelligence too woo-woo for corporate organizations? Absolutely not. I think authenticity and emotional intelligence also under the tense of self-awareness, it would be great for you, Eileen. Okay, 1 more minute till our announcement. Oh my gosh, my heart just got a little fluttered. I had my first unpaid gig, have my title, my speaker statement, abstract, have a website for my podcast. So not sure the next best step. Expensive to do a website. We do have a website template in the course that you can get your website done for under $300. I know that that's still an investment, but it's not like $3,000. So I would say that the next step would be either focus on your website or focus on LinkedIn, but keep repurposing that gig that you did. If you have photos, if you have videos, if you have testimonials, keep posting about it. Okay, drum roll. Who is excited for our announcement? Here we go. First, I want to celebrate some of the women in this group. I literally just went through the group this morning and so many great wins. Kelly got her first paid gig. Kristen delivered her first keynote. Nancy, huge breakthrough today. I updated and changed my LinkedIn profile. I stepped into who I'm becoming, who I know in my heart was meant to be. I love it. And then Graciela, I hope I'm saying that right, a little snippet from her TEDx talk, which also, can we talk about this outfit, like, and your power stance right here? Absolute baller. So this kind of stuff is happening every day, whether it is a paid gig, whether it is I launched my website or I started a podcast, and we want to celebrate you. So, for the first time ever, this has been like a pipeline dream of mine. We are doing our first ever mic drop award ceremony. Woo woo! This is for mic drop students. It's called Standing Ovations, and we want to celebrate you as just women in this community. We want to hear the impact you're having. We want to hear how you're supporting other speaker sisters. This isn't just about like how many gigs you've had, how much you've gotten paid. We want to hear all of the little wins that you're having along the way. Have you done a TEDx talk? Did you refer someone else in the group? Did you negotiate something creative to speak for free? Standing ovations is where we want to hear it. So you can apply by November 13th. We're going to have some really fun prizes. And Jane will put the link in the chat for the Standing Ovations application. Again, this is only open to Mic Drop Workshop and Mic Drop Academy students. So go ahead and apply with that link in the chat. And then another link for you is when the award ceremony will be. It'll be November 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And so we'll also send you a save the date in the chat so you can add it to your calendar. And yes, book pop, put it all in there. If you're watching this live, you qualify. And then we have a really special sponsor that we're working with for the award ceremony, this company called NG, women started, women owned, and everyone who attends, you don't even have to apply, but everyone who attends the award ceremony on the 20th is going to get 6 months free of NG's marketing suite. And NG is really easy to use marketing. Someone talked about building their platform, network. You literally put in your goal, like I want to grow my email list. I want to grow clicks to my website. I want to, I don't know, build whatever. And it'll tell you exactly what you need to do and even have like scheduling tools. Basically, if you hate technology and all the things that go into building a platform, this is the perfect solution for you. And so you'll get it for free when you come to the award ceremony on the 20th. And we will also have another very exciting announcement at Standing Ovations. We're working really hard at Mic Drop, and we have some really cool stuff happening in 2026. So we will unveil that at the award ceremony. So the two things that you need to do: apply for an award by November 14th, and then attend on the 20th. So we're super excited to celebrate you all. We might even have a little entertainment while we're there. Who knows? Things are going to get wild. So go ahead, apply, and then make sure you add it to your calendar. And we can't wait to see you all on November 20th for Standing Ovations, our first ever award ceremony. I feel like Michael Scott, and this is like the Dundies. So I'm super excited. Okay, so that was will it be available for replay? Potentially. Try to make it live, but we'll make sure if you can't make it. Okay, so let me go back to our regularly scheduled programming. I have a full-time job, but should I still launch on LinkedIn or organization page? Yes. Even if you have a job, your company doesn't own your LinkedIn. You do. This doesn't mean that you have to lie. This doesn't mean that you have to hide anything, but you personally own your LinkedIn. And so I wouldn't worry about saying that you're a speaker or anything like that. As long as you're transparent with your company, that's fine. And we're seeing now more than ever, businesses are actually investing in helping their employees and executives become thought leaders because it looks good on the company. There was some company recently that posted an application for like chief of thought leadership for all of their executives. So it's actually becoming an asset for them. So great question. Congratulations on your book, Jen. That's awesome. Um, let's see. I'm in retirement age. Yep. Tracy, I want to speak to students at elementary schools about finding their superpower. I love that, Tracy. Any suggestions on who to reach out to and how to go down that path? 15 to 20-minute talk, not a full keynote. I would, there's not as much like agencies and directors of programming for elementary schools. And so it would probably be through local connections. And so if you can find even a teacher or a staff member at a local elementary school and then put in your contract or put in your negotiation to make sure that they introduce you to other people, other elementary schools after, so it can create that ripple effect. I mailed my book and bio to a statewide places that would relate to my book, and I received a paid talk from that. Joy, that is awesome. Nashville Mic Drop Club, shout out. I love it. Okay. Where do you find Mic Drop Club locations? Yes, I know there's lots of information. Jane put it in the chat, micdropworkshop.com/club. Let's see. What do you do when you can't control your slide deck from the stage? And 1 minute in, you realize they didn't load your slides correctly. Oh my gosh, Michelle, that is a nightmare. This is why tech check is super important. Always require a tech check 1 hour before you speak. If I can't control my slides from the stage, or if they have to control from back there, I skip slides. I say I don't want them, because the last thing you want to do is be on stage and be like, and then you wouldn't believe what happened. Can you hit the next slide? It's like, it just is so disruptive. So if you can't control your slides, then I would just ditch the clicker and say, hey, we're just going to freestyle this, which is why I always say, make sure that you can do your presentation without slides. The slide should be for you instead of the audience. Dr. Kate, I have an upcoming gig where they want a 30-minute keynote, then moderating a panel of their members talking about how they implement the lessons, suggestions for ensuring a smooth transition to a panel. Interesting. I've never seen this happen before. So going from keynote, you're the keynote speaker, and then you're moderating a panel. I think with panels, I've never actually moderated one before, but I would think about what I appreciate in a panel moderation is making sure that everyone has the time to speak, and also controlling their time to speak. We've all been either on a panel or sitting in the audience where like one person's monopolizing the whole time. And so as the moderator saying, oh, thank you so much, I want to make sure that we get to this person too, is hard, but such an important job. But that's an interesting request that I haven't seen before. Okay. Can we access the website template if you're BookPop members? Shoot us an email. If it's not in BookPop Workshop, info@micdropworkshop.com, and we'll make sure that you can get that. I work with a lot of high-tech companies, and many are looking to train their folks on speaker skills. Engineer and product teams rarely have these skills. 100% soft skills. Communication in the age of AI is becoming so much more important. Nancy, what's the best way to find tech help so that doesn't stop my progress moving forward? I would say if you have specific questions like how do I accomplish this, put them in the Speaker Sister group. I'm sure someone in this group has done it before and can help you, or we can help you with that. If I missed your question, feel free to put it back. I'm going through all of these. Great idea, Catherine. Contact the school district. Rhonda, I have a dilemma. I was thinking about an inspirational talk about overcoming obstacles, but I have 3 novels coming out in the mystery genre. Now I'm not sure how to style my talks. 1, congrats, 3 novels. That is huge. 2, I would say your talks don't have to be about your mystery novels, but I wonder if you can use the process of writing and creating your mystery novels in your talk. So in your bump set spike, maybe one of your sets is around when I got this idea for a mystery novel and I wasn't sure how I was going to go about it. And so you can talk about um, you can use your story to support your motivational point without it being all about that. For example, when I speak, I'm not talking about public speaking, but I use starting mic drop workshop as one of my supporting points about um, creating the community that you want to exist. And so it's not about public speaking, it's about community. So maybe that can help you, Rhonda. Um, let's see. How far out do TEDx organizers typically book speakers? Um, we just had 3 women get selected for a TEDx talk yesterday for March. And so what is that? I don't do math in public, but that's like 5 months, I think. And so I would say probably around 5 to 6 months out is a typical time frame for TEDx for sure. Oh, look at this. This is the power of the speaker sisterhood community. Allie is like, girl, I got you. I can help with tech. Freaking love this. Do the stories you need to be connected to one each other or in chronological order? They do not. In fact, it's even great if they're not. Think about people are in this like scroll mentality. And so your stories don't have to be connected because you have a bump set spike and then you're going to something else. And so as long as the lessons are all pointing to your transformation promise, the stories don't have to be connected or chronological. Completed mic drop workshop but want to write a book. Congratulations. How do I get into that workshop? Christina, shoot us an email, info@micdropworkshop.com, and we'll see what we can do on that. We'd love to help you. Question about eSpeakers. You do have a free eSpeakers profile with Mic Drop Workshop. Since it's free, I would fill it out and see what comes from it. eSpeakers is great for like the $10,000 or less kind of gigs because that's what we're finding that some of our speaker sisters are getting from it. And you said pro on eSpeakers. I would say pro can be helpful if you will put in the time to use it. Pro allows you to like search for a lot more events and things like that, but I wouldn't say you have to do it. I think LinkedIn is a great way to supplement that. Let's see. Danielle, stuck in imposter syndrome mode. I know I have value, but not on paper. How do I prove my value with no professional experience? Danielle, this is so relatable. And also, I'm sure this is something that a lot of people feel. And I also think your ability to articulate this makes you so relatable to the audience. Even though your professional experience, you don't feel like sums up a page, your lived experience does. And so you don't need to have lengthy professional experience to be a speaker. You need lived experience, which we all have. And just remember that being relatable doesn't make you unreliable. It makes you a great, authentic speaker that's like wired to connect. But that is a great question. Okay, we have like one more. Oh, I think I'm like getting to all these. And this will be at time. Hannah, I want to speak upon helping those with chronic illnesses or kids with chronic illnesses self-advocate for their voice. Is that hyper-specific going to help or hinder me when marketing? I would say that this would be a great product or consulting or coaching, but too hyper-specific for a keynote. Your keynote could be around advocating for yourself. And that could be work at conferences, corporations, women's groups. And then you could say, I do this for kids with chronic illnesses, but let me show you the takeaways on how to advocate for yourself. That's going to open up way more speaking opportunities for you. Okay, so one more time, we have standing ovations happening on the 20th. So go ahead and apply for our first ever award ceremony and then attend on the 20th. And I can't wait to see your applications and see you all on the 20th. Thank you all for being a part of this community. And I hope you all have a great Friday and a great weekend. Bye, everyone.